As a child, I would sit under these beech trees and play my prayer flute to Source, and the wind would come and give me information. Wind would tell me stories about times of global major changes. Wind would tell me secrets. So this is what initiated my journey, really. The prayer flute, the tree and the wind.
Now we sit together under the beech tree and sing our praises, and the wind comes, tells a story.
So I would like to share a little bit about the mantra from the ancient tradition of the Nordic people, the runes, because the trees are very much connected to the runes. In my native tongue, German, we call the letter Buchstaben, and that means the wand of beech. Buchstaben means the wand of beech, or the twig of beech. That means our ancestors been throwing the wands of this tree, the branches of this tree, little sticks, and they would read oracle in the runes. So the way the wands would fall would tell them story, would reflect intelligence of source, would reflect destiny, would reflect sacred law. So that's the root of language. The root of language in the Nordic tradition comes from the trees, from the runes. And the runes also have asanas, that means different. The runes are actually the lines. The runes are the lines between heaven and earth. The runes are the energetic lines between heaven and earth and time and space. The runes are the energetic lines between heaven and earth and time and space. And according to the angle of the rune, one would plug into the telluric waves, the waves of life, the web of life. And these angles are the keys, are to unlock the doors of specific combination of frequency, specific combination of consciousness.
Like yantras.
Yeah, like yantras, like the yantras of the
Vedic tradition.
In the Vedic tradition.
Yeah, we have yantras are exactly that, sacred shapes, the sacred geometry, and doorways, portals
to consciousness.
Yeah, to other dimensions of consciousness. And in the Vedic tradition, not in the pre-Vedic tradition actually, in the Tantric tradition, the worship is with three things. There's Tantra, Mantra and Yantra. Tantra is expansion, Tanati Trayate, expansion and protection. Mantra is protection and expansion of the mind, Manas Trayate. And Yantra is using the sacred geometry and the sacred shapes to connect to the higher energies. So each deity, each divine manifestation, like say Lakshmi Yantra, or Kali Yantra, Saraswati. So you can invoke each of these deities through the yantra. The runes remind me a lot about the yantra. The yantra, which is the sacred shapes. In the tantric traditions, the three things that comprise the entire worship is tantra, yantra, and mantra. Tantra being the expansion and protection aspect, the Tanati and Trayate. Tantra. Mantra is protection of the mind with mantra, and which is why that plays such an important role in Shamantra. And yantra are the sacred shapes. The runes are really basically the Nordic yantras, aren't they?
and asanas.
and
Basically, the runes, if you see, like for example, the tree is the rune of connecting heaven and earth, like the Hag-al. It's a straight line and then it's a cross representing the branches receiving the energy from the heavens and the roots receiving the energy from the earth, and bringing those two energies together. That's the Hag-al, and that's actually the hexagonic shape, the two triangles. That's the inner structure of the two triangles intertwined, and that's the yantra also one can find in Hindu tradition.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to share about it?
Sacred shapes which are portals or doorways into higher consciousness. To each deity, each divine form is represented through a yantra. Very common one being the Sri yantra, for example. We're bringing prosperity.
The runes are falling down.
The runes are falling.
The wands of the beach are already being cast.
Yeah. This message.
Emphasizing what we're saying.
So the yantras can be used very powerfully, just like the mantras can be used very, very powerfully. And we're trying to, not trying actually, we are doing it in our practice, in our song, this merging these two traditions or many other traditions, and finding the voice of all that teaching through our music. It's very important because the time has come. There's a huge change in global consciousness. We can feel it. I mean, of course, there are predictions, and from the Mayan calendar and from the Vedic calendar.
From all the prophecies are pointing out towards the times of global major changes we're in right now.
And in the ancient times, from the rishis, from the ancient sages, they had projected that this was a time, what we are living in this time is the time of the Kali Yuga, where man loses his sense of morality, the values drop. We become small people, we become more material. And this is
caught in the web of illusion.
Caught in the web of illusion, Maya. And there has been never a more important time than this for us to be able to go back to those teachings. That's why the teachings have been given to us, so that they can pull us through, they can sail us through these times.
In fact, the Vedas say that in this time of Kali Yuga, the most important thing and the key to liberation and realignment is to remember the divine names. And if the divine names are themselves codes, keys to expanding our awareness to the original source from where we come from. So in the divine names of any traditions, really, there's keys to unlock our cellular memory of who are we, where do we come from, where are we going to, what is our true purpose in life, what is this incarnation all about, what is humanity about, what is this manifestation of life about on blue pearl planet Earth.
Yeah, beautiful. And that is when I talked about the Swarupa Avasthanam, establishing ourselves back in ourself, establishing in the self itself. That brings us to our dharma. What is our dharma? Like, what is the dharma of fire, for example? The fire's dharma is to burn. Without that quality of burning, it's not fire. Similarly, what is the dharma of a human being? Humanity. That is our dharma. That is our first and foremost duty.
The qualities of being human, obviously, are the gifts of giving and receiving, of creating. That makes us different from animal. We have hands and heart and mind to create and co-create. We can hurt with this hand and we can heal with this hand. And we have the gift of free will and choice. There is a choice. We can use this hand to heal, or we can use this hand to destroy. And so the basic human qualities, what are the basic human qualities? You tell me. The qualities of love and respect and compassion for all human life, for all living beings. And that is exactly our downfall at the moment, because we've forgotten to understand that we are all related with all living beings within the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the human kingdom, the seen and unseen worlds which are interwoven with our reality. We are so caught in our greed and blindness that we are just continuously exploiting this planet, not understanding that we are exploiting ourselves. And the living earth, the living organism, which is not just our home planet, not just our mother, but our own body. We're destroying this and the impossibility of a good life for our children in the coming generations. So it is very essential to come back to the original laws of life, which have nothing to do with the laws we are creating in our artificial worlds as humans. But these are the laws of love and respect for all living beings. And it is so important to remember this again and again and to remind one another. And that's what our service is, through sacred song, reminding ourselves and one another and all who are willing to open their hearts and listen to the original instruction, to the sacred laws, to the value and moral and ethical moral of being a human on planet Earth. A man between heaven and earth, humanity between heaven and earth, in service of the divine plan.
Home is my castle.
Home is where the heart is.